You already know. Shouts out to the Guillotine team. Hey, you over there, shut the fuck up and listen. Look, please don't talk to us. This is off the cuff. We off-white like a lemonade and swastikas. Hey, homie, I let the thing talk like a parakeet. Paraheat, the way I bully beats gets embarrassing. Came up, we used to chip 5 and a L. I know the rules of the game is surviving a hell. You know that it's rare. I know that you care. Check the faces. One bar, give you a shot. Blood can chase it. It's me and E. With some vehement knees. Women that I'm sure gon' make us weak in the knees. It's return of the gap, not return of the whack. Negative energy, we are not returning it back. You thought I knifed up a candle, how I'm murdering wax. Compare me to who? Nobody ever heard of they tracks. Need big digits, sick with it. You know who the man. Every rapper that you know, I done made him a fan. I let the tables rotate like the blaze on a fan. Know what we bout, action like charades with the fam. We not impressed, it hurt no stress and tried to take it. Waiting on the time to talk back to basics. Acid, no laces, destiny, we can taste it. Foreign money, I need banks for translation. Competitors, out the regular, I'm ahead of ya. Everybody rapping is cool, I'm just better, bruh. It be the R like the 18th letter was. The foundation too strong, you can't level us. How long you been down? You gotta level up. It's my day like the dude from Bulgaria. A new day, keep boxes of O's, X's for hoes. I pointed out the routes on the roads. Rest in peace to the family. Nigga, count me. You know?
I can picture us together, boo, not just at night. Whoa, when you're by my side, it's such a good feeling. Holding me down when we're close, you got me wheeling and dealing. Got my head past the ceiling, somewhere in the cloud. Cause every time I touch your tongue, it's like I hear it aloud. I can even stand proud, you holding your own. You so grown with your appeal, I can't leave you alone. Overdosing on the text and spending time on the phone. You got a smile on my face, boo, the feeling is strong. Romance is on our mind, like spending time in Rome. Fresh fruit, gold bottles, the aroma is strong. As we proceed to move on, yeah, we both in the zone. Now you could call a nigga crazy like a hook on the phone. Yeah.
Call me foolish, but I see I'm falling. Drunk in the love, yeah, you got me wide open, yeah. It's crazy how a brother want me. No hesitation, let me push up on it. Call me foolish, but I see I'm falling. Drunk in the love, yeah, you got me wide open, yeah. You got me love, you know I want you. Cut out the phone,
man, how could I describe you? Oh, I know, angel, no wings, skin dark, chocolate Godiva, euphoric at its finest. Absolutely no denying as I'm crowning my new highness. That your voice just keeps playing in my head, lying hearted, never scared. And the only thing locked up is your dread. And I come prepared, no judging, but you're well read. In a bull's eye, worth of studying. Love so potent, your curves are emotions are thick like John Stelly's bifocals. Baby, we gotta focus and enjoy the moment. Put the plans in motion, you got a brother thinking of eloping. I know you're concerned that it's us I believe in. I give you 2 weeds, very fluent and Parisian. So I toast to this song in a world full of wrongs. Jam on just to make things right, let's make a light.
Falling for you. You got me falling, falling, falling for you. falling. Drunken in love, yeah, you got me wide open, yeah. You know I love you, you know I want you. Clear up the phone for the
Answer your phone.
Girl, I'm in Paris.
What you mean you in Paris?
He flew me out last night.
Is that right?
Yes, girl. He in there right now making me some bacon, eggs, and cheese. And you know we did it all night long. Call me crazy, but I think I'm falling.
Girl, bye.
Best kept secret lovers edition, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. This one here is so seductive. Let's go. Okay. I say she's a bad chick, not something that I'm used to. The type to turn heads, she's so used to the who's who. And I'm a square nigga, how I figure I can choose you. I even bought them roses in the club to get through. Come on, pursue you. I'm feeling like the Hennessy is winning. Got a nigga in his feelings, nose wide open, no pretending. Whoa, only approach, she probably thinking I'm a joke, cause I'm the third fool that came in the row. Smile, let's go, I got some things to get into. First order, let me friend you, and we can start out casual. That's something that you into. Stimulate your mental, satisfy your individual self-esteem. Her serene, that's something that I've been through. I'm trouble, very subtle, plus she stays up on her hustle, man. I think I found a winner. I can't wait to tell the brothers, yeah. Smiles on our faces, grinning like ear to ear. Did I just see my future? Never appeared to be so clear. Take off. Yeah. Woo. We now entering the party zone, ladies and gentlemen. Stamp your feet. Snap your fingers to this one. Whatever your vice is, we just came to party. Cooler than the other side of the pillow, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck with your boy. Yeah. Fine ass peering through the wine glass, reminiscing about that night in the club, man, time fast. We moving steady along, make sure she's ready. Never once have we talked about exes, that talk is petty. Not at all. Like that confetti, what falls, we never study on things we cannot change. Never endure on the pain, more focused on the game. Better yet, how to sustain, like my papa used to say, by any means to maintain. Whoa. I'll frame my mind, relax, enjoy time that's spent with one another, cause we could be with the other. It's real special when I have you to myself, with my full attention like a mogul and his wealth. Often I'll grill my coals hot, she know the deal. She's so caught up in the moment, it's a luxury sex appeal. The feeling is real, nothing close to be surreal. Now this is loving at best, top tier from the rest, so take off. Woo! Yeah, we're officially in the party zone, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Hey Boogie, I see you. Feeling like I can get my two-step on to this one. Yeah. Hey OC, what up, ma? I see you, baby. Snap your fingers. Wait till they get a load of this bow-tie music. Fairy tale ending, fairy tale song. For those who got something to rub on. Fairy tale ending, fairy tale song. For those who got something to rub on. Fairy tale ending, fairy tale song. For those who got something to rub on. Yeah.
Girl,
it do, world? It's your boy King Eric the Great coming back at y'all with episode 219 of Off the Cuff Radio as a part of the doubleheader, sponsored by Da Vinci Clothing and Cocaine's Buddy Boy Entertainment. And tonight we have possibly one of the coldest artists in North Carolina right now on the line. Here promoting this project, The Best Kept Secret Lover, a 2 edition. Let's welcome JB to the show.
What's happening? What's going on? Off the Cuff Radio. The family.
What's going on, my brother?
I'm cooling, man. Cooling. Happy New Year and all that good stuff to you guys, man.
Same to you, man. Now, before we start this interview, we know we got to put respect and give you the round of ovation, man, for taking the time. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that. Much respect to you guys and everything you do and the platforms that y'all create for us independent artists, up-and-coming artists, man. Salute to you guys and y'all statues and y'all platforms as well.
Man, we definitely appreciate the love, man, and the time that you've given to chop it up with us. You got this new project out. You're making a lot of noise on the underground. SmartMouth Records
yes, sir.
doing some things right now. So
absolutely.
Start this thing off, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm cooling, man. Blessed and highly favored. You know what I mean? I can't complain.
And one of those tracks that we just played was Breakfast in Paris. That's the new single off the project, correct?
Yes, sir. That's the new single off the project. That video's on YouTube as well. If you go follow me on YouTube, I am the real JB. You check that video out, man. We shot that down in Miami last year in I want to say September. Yeah, we were out there joined up in September. It was a fun experience, man, and the whole nine. Me and the crew went down there. We knocked the joint out, and we was able to bring possibly one of the best videos this year, especially on the independent level.
And I could tell y'all had a ball out there, man. Like that was one of those videos where even the visual or the person that's watching the video will be like, man, I wish I could be there right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, shout out to the director Baines and everybody that participated in the video, the cast, the models, of course the artists, man, and even the people that made the trip down just to help drive, man. And shout out to everybody. It was a family experience. We had a good time. Everybody brought their A game, and like I say, man, it was a blessing just to see everything unfold, man, before our eyes. So salute to all the people that participated in that video.
Now, how did you come up with the concept of that single?
You know what, man? Like mentioned before, I really come from an R&B background. I'm a rapper by nature, but I come from an R&B background, so it's like on certain production. Well, most of the records I hear, I hear from an R&B perspective. Like I hear the singing in it first, and then once I hear the singing, I hear the lyrics, and then I just try to go back and listen to some of those rap artists that had the strong chick records. Like we listen, when I think about what Jay-Z did with Song Cry and what Tupac did with John B and so on and so forth. And you see artists like Fab as well. You see artists like Meek Mill, them taking that approach with the chick records, man. So it's like, and Ja Rule, of course, had a heavy influence on that whole chick record movement, man. So it's like hearing the R&B side and having the pedigree of R&B, I get the singing down first, and then the rapping comes second nature. So it's been inspired by years of writing love letters and being young and being young and in love at one point. So that all helps as well contribute to the penmanship that goes into writing those records and writing those songs.
I also gotta add one record too. We gotta add DMX's How It's Going Down. We gotta add that in the top 10.
Absolutely. People tend to take credit from that era of music, man, that type of sound. But I feel like, me personally, I feel like the best stories came from the old love records. You had the Lenny Williams, and you had the Marvin Gaye's of not of my generation, but of our parents' generation. Even the Luther Vandross. I feel like the best stories came out of those ballads. You know what I mean? That, like, those songs captured you and put you inside of the music, rather than you just nodding your head and having a good time. You actually found yourself inside of the moment of when that artist was writing that song, and you could actually picture yourself either being a part of that song or actually picture yourself writing that song, or him talking about something that you went through. So I definitely salute my head to R&B. Tip my hat to R&B artists, because I know a lot of work goes into it. I mean, it ain't as easy as going in there writing 16.
So you feel that the biggest challenge is more so as dealing with the R&B side more than the rap side?
Oh, hands down, because in the past year or so, I called myself trying to tap back into R&B, and it's just being around hip hop so much that you find yourself, when you hear a beat, you find yourself going right into your rhyming mode and going into cadences. And 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with R&B, that's not even an approach that you have to have. You know what I mean? Like, R&B artists, it's not just about flowing. It's about notes and picking the right notes and the right melodies and even the right words. You know what I mean? That go along with whatever the chord is. So it's much more of a job than most people think it is. I mean, like I said, I'm just speaking from experience and trying to tap back into it. It's definitely a job rather than you just putting on the beat. Because most most rap artists, they started out as being freestylers. You know what I mean? At least some of them did. Some started out just by freestyling and playing along. And then, over the course of time, you develop your flow, you develop your cadence, boom, you're a rap artist. Singing, it's a lot that goes into singing. I mean, conditioning, training. You know what I mean? You got to have be able to have a melody, or be able to hear a melody. You got to have an ear for it. So it's definitely, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit more of a challenge of being an R&B artist or creating R&B music versus rap artists. I guess that's why you look on the R&B aspects, it's only a few guys that's able to sustain R&B careers versus rappers. You got rappers that come a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? But how many generational R&B artists that you could say that you have? I mean, even with I play devil's advocate with either with R.Kelly. No matter how you view him outside of the music, can't nobody take away what he did for the music game. And his style has never been emulated, never be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? It's only one R.Kelly. But you can go and find maybe another 2, 3, 4 offsets in Atlanta, Memphis, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's easy to duplicate that sound when it comes to hip-hop, but it's harder when you're talking about R&B artists.
Ain't that the truth, man? Because while we on the topic of R. Kelly, there's a lot of records that he wrote that I don't even think anybody even knew that he wrote.
Exactly. Crazy, man. That's even like with Michael Jackson. You could put Usher and Chris Brown in that realm as far as, okay, they dancing, but we talking about singing. You know what I mean? It's different avenues. Just like I said, it'll never be another Luther. Vocally, this is be honest. You know what I mean? You'll never see another Luther Vandross. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just different. But you get more comparisons in hip hop than you do in any other genre of music. How many people said they was the next coming to Pac or the next big or this, that, and so forth? You know what I mean? So many comparisons. It's almost like basketball. It's always the next coming of a rap artist, but it's very seldom you hear a person say that when it comes to relates to R&B, because the craft, in my eyes, is just that much different. It's just that much different.
Now, I was doing a little bit of researching in your background, and this goes in correlation with the question in regards to the music and how it parallels with the church background. Now, do you think that plays a key role on how R&B artist could develop his craft or her craft?
Yeah, that's true. That's true because when you talk about gospel in a sense, gospel is just folk tales. You know what I mean? It's coming from. It's just like you sitting around in kindergarten listening to a story, or listening to a fairy tale, a nursery rhyme. I think it stems from that, and it all correlates. That's why a lot of times, like even now with a lot of gospel music, it sounds almost secular because it's so much transparency in between the two, even with the production side. Now you got. What we used to hear in traditional gospel songs, when you listen to Shirley Caesar's or Mahalia Jackson's, now you get artists like the Campbell sisters or Mary. It sounds like a production that they can give to a Jennifer Hudson or to a Kay Michelle. You know what I mean? It's like the production, it goes hand in foot in what gospel music has been doing as of lately. As of the 2000s, the gospel movement of 2000 has changed drastically. I mean, you very seldom hear organs playing in the gospel music nowadays. And you and I, we probably grew up on hearing the organs playing in the church. You know what I mean? So
it was mandatory to go to church back then too.
yeah, that's true.
You had to
that's
go.
True. You had no choice. Absolutely. But I think with those principles alone. I know a lot of people have gotten away from it, but with our generation, with those principles alone, those little core values that we still have, that's what keeps a few of us that still have a little bit of ounce of decency left in us. You know what I mean? Because you got fools everywhere, but then you still got a small percentage of people that got an ounce of decency that's left in them that say, hey, I ain't gonna follow that or I ain't gonna do that. And that's that small group of people that was forced to go to church Sunday through Sunday. It felt like,
Now, what people don't know is that you came up from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, home of Cash Money, No Limit.
Yeah.
A lot of those
Absolutely.
New Orleans powerhouses came up there. And do you care to tell the people like what it was like coming up during that time period?
It was fun, man. I think like it's no disrespect. In Baton Rouge, man, we just have our own. It's our own world and our own lane. And that's why you see people like Boosie and Kevin Gates and NBA Youngboy, man, when they come out of that, they come out with such a strong impact is because you take an area of people that's not really used to being exposed to anything. Like people say the country and the city. Like New York may be on something in 2000 that we may not be exposed to until 2015, you know what I mean, or 2020. So it's like, for us, any amount of hope is the greatest hope in the world. So it's like when we seen Cash Money and No Limit do their thing, like we never had experienced that, not on a major level. So for us to experience that and have that little bit of notoriety where y'all looking at that little bitty booth at the bottom of the country, that's all we needed. You know what I mean? That's all we needed to fuel the next generation of artists or the next generation of people. That's one thing I can't say about my region and my hometown. Once they get behind you, they get behind you. Like, you really got to do something foolish to get those people to turn against you. But once they behind you, they support you 100% no matter where you at. I mean, I get more support being here in North Carolina from folks back in Baton Rouge on any day. You know what I mean? So salute to the hometown, the home state, but that's just how it is, man. Just seeing that whole movement, it just encouraged us that it was something outside of Louisiana, because a lot of us that's from Louisiana, we tend to get trapped inside of that maze, that matrix, where we never step outside of that. And Louisiana becomes all we know. Even with some of the rappers that was on the underground level, a lot of those guys started out rapping, and they were just rapping in Louisiana. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but if you want to make it in this industry, you got to broaden your horizon. You know what I mean? You got to expand your vocabulary. You know what I mean? You could say Wody and y'all and finna around me, but if you talking about you trying to relate to somebody that's in the Midwest, you got to change the lingo up a little bit. You know what I mean? So once No Limit and Cash Money kicked that door in, man, it was to the sky the limit after that.
You won't lie about their support system, because even guys that was on Master P's label that nobody even heard of, I could sit there and vouch and say the guys that was fourth string on the bench, they were doing gold numbers.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Is crazy.
Exactly. A lot of folks don't know that. Yeah. A lot of people don't know, and they got a lot of they got a huge crop of artists down there that's coming out. I remember when I was going home on leave from the military, seeing Gates inside of a studio recording. He used to record out of a studio that sold CDs in the front, and they had a studio in the back. Just seen him as a youngster, you know what I mean, just doing this thing and hearing people talk about it. I never met him personally, but he has a good rapport with my older brother and a couple of my family members. I remember seeing him working as a young dude, and I was like, you know what, I just heard his vocabulary, and I'm like, you know what, when he gets the opportunity, they better look out, you know what I mean, because it's you know how the people try to say it's a rarity for a southern rapper to sound educated, you know what I mean, they try to put us in that box and say, well, they can't do nothing but mumble rap, but nah, but it's some articulate cats out here, man. There's some guys out here that paint beautiful pictures when they do music. You know what I mean? So I love to see us kill that narrative. You know what I mean? And shut that down completely. You know what I mean? There's guys in the South that can really rap. You know?
I think a part of that comes from the pressure from the industry. Like, you have to feel like you got to dumb yourself down to double the dollars. Because a lot of these guys that, believe it or not, that make these type of music, you would think they are dumbed down as you hear them on their music, but as soon as you see them in an interview, you would be like, whoa.
It's a entirely different thing. And you know what? I think that has a lot to do with the amount of the statute of what we give up. What I mean by that is living in a microwave society, we tend to want everything instantaneously instead of working and building towards it, you know what I mean, and appreciating it more, knowing that you worked hard for it. Nobody wants to work hard for anything, so whatever the machine has to offer or the machine has to say, if it makes a little bit of sense to us, we'll run with it. You know what I mean, even if it's the most humiliating thing in the world, you know what I mean. Hey, I made a couple of dollars off of it, even if it made me look like I was an idiot or imbecile or embarrassment to my family, my parents. As long as I made a few dollars off of it, I'm cool with it. And a lot of times now, especially now, these labels, they only go and get the kids they know that's not used to anything. You know what I mean? If a kid ain't seen $20,000 in his life and he's 17, 18 years old, that's a lot of money then. You know what I mean? So he gonna take it because he ain't seen the world. He thinking not even I'll ante it up $100,000. That's a lot of money to a kid in the hood or the urban neighborhood. He never seen that. He figured he never seen that in his lifespan. So I could take him and say, here goes $100,000. Hey, you ain't got to do much. Just go in there and make something. I mean, that sounds decent. I got a beat to it. Come on back out. We put it out. So that's the society we live in. Nobody wants to put forth the work anymore. So in the end result, that's what you get, and that's the stigma that goes along with it.
It becomes very disheartening, man, because, you see a lot of guys, just like guys like yourself, you put a lot of heavy work into creating art, which is going to be like, you could tell from cover art, paying samples, paying guests, paying for features, all that type of stuff that comes on with the territory, only for it to be overlooked. I ain't trying to say you getting overlooked. I see you doing your thing, but you have guys that put in that work, and they become overlooked for a guy that come in with 200 million views out of nowhere, just doing something dumb like eating a Tide Pod.
You know what though? It's the spiritual side. The spiritual side of me and my spiritual belief has me on a wave where I know my time is coming. It's just about waiting. It's just about just waiting it out, and when God is ready for me to be revealed to the world, I will be. But in the meantime, I just stay steadfast, continue to build my craft. At the end of the day, evil will never win. Evil will never win in society. Evil will never win in the world. So, and knowing that, that's my motivation. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at all the political rappers and all the conscious rappers, those that have passed on, I mean, they let's just be honest. The man did everything in his power to phase out that line of music, from the Public Enemies to the NWAs to the Run DMC. They purposely sabotaged or destroyed that side of music because they wasn't trying to put that out. That's not the image they wanted. They wouldn't want to portray black folks being unified or black folks being educated or being independent. I mean, the same way they did away with the Panthers, they did away with that type of music. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, once you become conscious in your spirituality, you know that they can try, maneuver, and do whatever they want, but that'll never win. Even the fool got to wake up at something. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, I let them have it. You know what I mean? I let them have it. Whenever the Most High decides to break me through, then I'm coming through with a vengeance. And I ain't looking back. And I ain't cutting no corners. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. I ain't biting my tongue to nobody.
Amen to that. We live on Off the Cuff Radio. Call numbers 16199240703. We got my man JB in the building, representing from New Orleans to North Carolina. We in the building. Want to send a shout out to my co-hosts out there. I'm holding down the solo mission in the meantime till y'all get up. But going back to what we got going on here, so what made you come to Raleigh, and what was the scene like when you first got here?
I actually, that's a long story. Actually, it's crazy because when I joined the military, I left Baton Rouge in 2000, actually, right out of high school. And my first stop was living in San Diego. I actually lived in San Diego, California for 2.5 years. So, right after I left San Diego, I ended up being in D.C. for another 2.5 years. And then the time of me living in D.C., I met Ben, my girlfriend. And one thing led to another, man. I think 13, 14 years later, marriage, man. So that's how I ended up here with my wife and my kids now. But I've always been around music. I really, when I first got here, I kind of was doing my own thing, just writing music, because I didn't really know a whole lot of people, and I'm not the type of person that really just jump out there and just want to go be a part of everything, be around with everybody and be down with everything. So I kind of felt around and picked and choose was different camps I wanted to work out of. So, lo and behold, I started my own label, SmartMouth Records, and then we just kind of moved around from studio to studio till we got comfortable in one particular place. But in the meantime of me building my brand and building my craft, I started meeting good brothers along the way that it was crazy because they're younger than me, but they're like-minded. You know what I mean? They some of the things that I was passionate about, they were passionate about as well. You know what I mean? So it's like, just to see them and then see them put it in music. Because like you said, it's so easy for you to go and make whatever garbage and come out and make a few $100,000. That's easy. But there's a lot of guys that I rub shoulders with, young brothers. They believe in putting in the work. You know what I mean? They believe in, hey, this is just putting in the groundwork, man. I'm going to do what's real, what's natural to me. You know what I mean? So the scene is definitely live and booming here in North Carolina, man. Shout out to North Carolina everywhere. It's alive and booming, man. There's a lot of dope artists out here, a lot of young brothers with a lot of things to say, young brothers and sisters, man, with a lot of things to say, and I just love it, man. I just love it. I feel like the unification is coming to the forefront more than it's been in the past and when I first got here, because and like anywhere you go, everybody wants to be the man or the woman, or they want to be the highlight, but at the same time, you know, we gotta get away from the I movement. You know what I mean? Sometimes we gotta get to us movement. And so, and I'm starting to see that more. So that's definitely exciting because people are starting to do things together and move together. Strength in numbers.
And what I like about you as well is that you actually collabing with a lot of, you know, independent artists that are coming out of North Carolina. And one of them that we had on our show a long time ago was Simone Sings, and she's very talented.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to that sister. Her and my wife they good little partners, man. They be chopping it up a lot. So yeah, shout out to Simone. She does a lot out here for the music scene in North Carolina as well.
And you also had a lot of North Carolina artists on your first album as well. And the first album was Cold Blooded. And we was going to get you on the show, but you know how it be. When you moving in the game, it's just time constraint is crazy.
Yeah, I know. You talking about the best kept secret one? Yeah. Look, it's crazy because I actually pulled that out of the archives a few days ago. And I've been listening to it's a lot of records that didn't even make that project, but it's a lot of records that I was listening to because right now I'm actually finishing up a double album that's going to be released at a later date called The Wilted Garden. It's going to be that's going to be a whole nother aspect of who I really am. You know what I mean? My socialism, my activism that's going into my music, but I got a chance to listen to a lot of those songs off of SoundCloud, man, and just kind of prep myself on what I'm trying to accomplish, man. But I appreciate that, man. 'Cause I don't really bring that one up too much because it didn't have the promotion as much as the Best Kept Secret Lovers edition did this year. Me and my brother Lawrence, we always talk about that. I say, well, man, we had the promotion for the first one like we did with this one. Who knows? You know what I mean? But can't go well over that. We won't complain over spilled milk. We just got to keep it moving. You know?
Matter of fact, you guys gave me a personal copy that way. You met me years ago.
Oh, word up.
I think it was, yeah, we met out there outside of the North Raleigh Hilton, and y'all hooked me up with the copy. I'm like, yeah, I'm down with the team now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was like 24 songs on that joint. That was my first real, it was crazy because that was my first, like, real official project that I put out, and then I was like, I was so overzealous and anxiety was there because I was like, I want to show my skills and want to show people I can do any and everything. So it's just like, it's different. It's so many directions on there. I can't really give it no specific, you know what I mean, umbrella. So, okay, I was looking for this. I just try to show everything that I could do for any other artist that was listening that potentially wanted to do a collab, or they could be like, oh, damn, he rap fast, oh, he sings, or shit, he could slow it down, he could tell a story, you know what I mean, he could be lyrical. So I just try to make sure that was more or less my resume to put out. But I appreciate that, man. That's crazy. I ain't heard that one in a minute.
Yeah, matter of fact, after the show, I'm gonna probably post a copy up to let people know that we crate diggers out here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man.
We digging the crates heavy.
Look, I appreciate it. Look, I'm definitely gonna put you on my email list and let you because what I like to do when I go back in the album mode, I like to send all my close partners in the Philly this shit I'm working on and just get their feedback. Hey, man, how you feeling about that one? Let me know before I go in. And most of the times what I do is I go and I just record songs, and I won't even finish half of them. I go and I record a hook and a verse and just send it. Okay, you think I need to finish the whole song? Should I put another voice in there? Who you hear on that? That's how I do my music.
And with the new project that you came out recently, I got hooked up with this one here. I got to say, this thing is cold-blooded, man. I'm talking about colder than a Chicago Pimp's Heart on a Sunday. You know what I mean? That thing is cold.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. That one.
I like that.
That was special. That one was special, man. I think for that, with that particular project, I think at the time when I started writing it, me and my wife was approaching 10 years of marriage. It just felt good, you know what I mean? And like to be in a good space and be in a good union, I feel like I can go out and buy anything she wants or do anything, you know what I mean, out of the ordinary. But like, but let me give her something that's timeless that won't lose value. You know what I mean? Even if I close my eyes tonight and take my last breath within this minute, it's something she can always go in and pop in and just reflections of where I was and how I felt about her on certain songs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's something that can never be replaced. So it felt good to be able to do that, not only for my sake, but I got a lot of people that I rub shoulders with that, whether it been fell out of love, it'd be No Regrets with Fred Falsetta. It's records on there that guys that call me, like grown men, like, yo, that record brought me out, man. You know what I mean? I needed that to get me and my wife and my household back on the right path or back on the right foot. And just to hear stuff like that, man, is gratifying and it's rewarding to know that not only are you thinking of yourself, you're thinking of other people. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a good feeling.
So what were some of your favorite tracks on that project?
You know what? I don't like to point out any one in particular. I had a whole lot of fun doing Fell Out of Love. Fell Out of Love was just the first single off the Best Kept Secret Two Lovers Edition project. I had a whole lot of fun doing that because nobody really seen me sing like that. I had one record on the first project that's called Hey There that I did the hook for. I did a little singing on it. But as far as for me to go in there and actually sing and have to do stack it and go over it again, that was fun to create that record. That's actually one of the biggest records I done had so far off the project as far as views on YouTube The views on YouTube were crazy, even with the video, and the response I get is always one that people always ask me to do that record. So that was cool. But I don't know, man. Actually, to be honest with you, the best record on the album don't even involve me. It's called Beautiful. It's Marco Rich featuring my brother Lawrence A. It's called
big
Beautiful.
shout out
That's
to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Lawrence A. and Marco Rich, man. It's a beautiful record because it captures the essence of love. Like, you know, most of the other songs on there are situational songs, and it's kind of like that record sums up what love is. You know what I mean? So it's like it definitely highlights the whole entire project. So if I had to say pick out a favorite, that would be one of my favorites or something. But all the other artists did an amazing job. Tish Songbird, Happy Home, Simone Sings on Keep Me Going, Ashley Marshall on Gotcha. Gotcha's a really, people tend to go past it, but when they listen to it, Gotcha's really a more urbanistic sound, but people rock to, like, my trap homies like Gotcha. They're like, hey, yo, I like the Gotcha. So as long as I'm able to do something for them and I ain't got to talk about selling drugs in the community, hey, I did my job.
And what I like about that record as well is that it also is a reflection of the diverse North Carolina scene, because we still look at it like North Carolina still trying to find their niche in the game. Like, you got the West Coast, they got the G-Funk,
absolutely,
Low Rider, Palm Trees type sound. Then you got the ATL, they got the trap sound. East Coast, they got that brush your teeth. I mean, you got that. They got that. Put that toothbrush in your mouth. You walking in the winter with the cold in your eye type music.
Yeah, absolutely.
North Carolina, we still trying to find our niche, but we have a very diverse state.
Absolutely. You know what the thing about that is, though? I feel like where it is a good thing, because North Carolina is just like a gumbo pot. It's a melting pot. I mean, you probably got maybe 35 to 40% of the people that's here are actually from here. You got a lot of people that's coming from California and New York and retiring out here. I mean, if you look at the growth of North Carolina, it has one of the highest growths year in and year out as far as population goes. People are moving here. It's developments being built, townhouses, condos, subdivisions being built. People are retiring here. This is the South, and we got some of the best beaches in the country, so it's like a lot of people are coming, so you got a mixture of, even myself, you know what I mean? I'm not Carolina born, Carolina bred, but it's like a mixture of people that's here, so when you put all that together, it's like making a pot of gumbo. You got so much stuff that you can put in together and develop one sound. I think it eventually will get there, but I just respect it for its uniqueness, because you got some cats out here that are New York rappers. You got some cats out here that are South rappers, Midwest rappers. You got some cats out here like myself that have been on the West Coast, and I can give you a G-Funk record. I can give you a record that you can walk to. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just think that's cool in its essence. You know what I mean? We ain't just saturated with one particular sound.
And that's what's needed, man, because we need to show that we have a good mixture variety of what North Carolina can offer. And it's a salute to J. Gover open up that door. Because he can do the R&B and the rap, and he produces.
Exactly. And the thing about it, I think I like about that, and I appreciate it more, because I don't think that now, had that type of sound would have been introduced in the 90s, it wouldn't have been accepted as more, because you'd have had more rappers that was more conscious to question your sexuality and your manhood, were feeling like you had to do that type of record or do that to a record. You know what I mean? Because, like, brothers back then, like, it was more brothers back then in the 90s that was stepping. I'm talking about more militant-minded, combat boots, soldier bags. Like, you know, like what P and them brought out. It was more militant-minded brothers. Like, now you got more rap. You got more meek and more mild-mannered artists. You know what I'm saying? You don't see a lot of the rap beats and the East Coast, West Coast, which is a good thing, because we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing we don't need. So, which is a good thing, that guys could just sit back and just make good music and have everybody appreciate it, and not have somebody standing in the corner with their nose turned up because they didn't discover it first. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely a cool thing, man. I just wish that, me personally, I'm pushing for more substance to go into the music. I mean, it's cool that you make a few dollars, or even if you make a mumble rap record, okay. But it's the same way if you go sit inside of a movie theater and you got rated R, PG, PG-13, TVMA, you got descriptions that highlight stuff. So if I'm gonna make a record about getting high or doing drugs or something like that, I'm gonna also, before that record comes out or before that video comes out, I'm like, hey, not to be taken literally. You know what I mean? Like, this is just entertainment. This is just an art form. This is a gift. This is not something I'm sitting back doing 24/7. I don't want you to feel like you got to go do that. I mean, but at the same time, when you say stuff like that, it comes with a cost. And for most rappers, they don't want to take that hit in the pocket, so they don't do that. I just hope they can get to the understanding that you do more damage by not being truthful than trying to make a few dollars to put in your pocket.
And in correction with this question here, do you feel that R&B is making a comeback in 2019?
You know what? It depends. I don't really think, like I said, I don't think that we have the crop of gifted singers that we had back when we were in high school. Like when we was going to those high school dances, like I all I listened to was R&B. When we was going to those high school dances, and Luther came on, or Freddie Jackson came on, or those groups like Troop and Jodeci or the Intro, you know what I mean? When we was going to dances and stuff like that, even Jagged Edge and Ideal, I don't think you have those groups no more. You know what I mean? I don't know why they fell apart. Even with B2K, you know what I mean? It's like if you go up with a group of guys, young guys, right, and none of y'all got a pot to piss in or one to throw it out of, what happens in that camp where it causes y'all to feel like y'all gotta fall out? I got partners from Louisiana that I don't talk to every day, but them still my partners. You know what I'm saying? If I go down there, we still can hang tough. So it's like whatever poison that is being placed into those organizations, those camps, it's just the poison that's not going to allow us to see a generation of R&B groups like that, even with singers. Like I say, I don't condone anything R.Kelly did. I don't. But the guy made great music. You know what I mean? But that will forever be overshadowed. Same thing with Chris Brown. He's a talented artist, but he can't seem to get out of his own way. Why is that? You know what I mean? Even with Usher the same thing. Usher Confessions was probably still one of the best rap albums that ever came out on R&B set. But now he got his own personal issues. So it's like the minute you get to the top of the mountain, it's like if you don't comply or you're not sustainable, and hey, you're gonna fumble, you're gonna fall out of the wayside. And I think a lot of guys look at it like it's the risk worth the reward, if that makes any sense.
It could be possibly two things. It could be number one that they see that the trap sound is what's selling, and they force a lot of these artists to adapt to that.
Yeah,
and there's also
true.
a case of where, like you said, once these dudes stop being hungry, there's nothing else to really conquer, so they just become complacent.
Exactly, that's true too, man. None of those are wrong answers. I just think when it comes to R&B, like I just see, for me, it seems like R&B has done more damage to the artist than rap has. You know what I mean? So you think about, let's go back. You think about the Temptations. Look what the R&B. Look what it done to David Ruffin. Crack, killed him. You know what I'm saying? Or you look at a lot of the like I watched all those songs that come on to VH1 about the Donnell Jones and the cases, and it seemed like it'd be more songs on there about R&B artists, females and males, than it is rap artists. You know what I mean? It seemed like the R&B artists, they had the toughest shit to deal with, but at the same time they make the greatest music. You know what I mean? Because what they telling their story. So like I say, for me to say that it'd come back, it's wishful thinking. I mean, it's wishful thinking.
It could be also a case where there's more value behind a lot of these guys' catalogs and song structures and things like that versus the rap joints. Because if you really look at the catalogs of like Prince and Michael Jackson and Whitney and all of them, it's worth probably billions. So that's probably a lot more stress.
Exactly. Even with the art, like even with the Bobby Brown shit, like I knew about Bobby Brown, but when I watched the movie, I'm like, yo, he had some joints, but you never, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have thought that. Even with New Edition, same thing, same difference. Like they had some records, you know what I mean? And it's just like, but see, the competition was so stiff too, because when New Edition got Rolling Hell, Boys II Men was knocking on the door. You know what I'm saying? Jodeci was right around the corner. Then Drew Hill kicked in. You know what I mean? But if you think about it, even with the R&B artists now, even with some rap artists, they just pushing this thing now about the crossover. So it's not just, you're not just getting traditional R&B music or R&B ballads anymore. They gassing people like, oh, we got to cross over. I mean, we cross over, that's when we're going to start seeing the millions of dollars. Yeah, we just 100,000 doing these regular R&B records, but when you cross over, you make the millions of dollars. You know what I mean? And you got people like Bruno Mars headlining that shit, so that's what people think they got to do. I mean,
it's also a case of where you got to, the biggest challenge, one of the main challenges of R&B artists is where you got to find it's keeping true to your soul sound and trying to appeal to the new era. And I think that's where guys like R.Kelly sort of got lost, because the first those albums he dropped, I think it was Write Me Back and Love Letter. They were great mature love albums, but they didn't really sell like 12 Play or the R or Chocolate Factory. So he had to go back to the recipe of putting out ratchet tunes.
Yeah. That's true. It's what you want out of it. Out of the business. If you want fame, you want different sound, then you're going to apply yourself to do whatever. But if you just want a little notoriety, then your hunger ain't going to be that the same as the next thing.
I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
I was saying, I just think it's what you want out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want the Vegas, the big pencil town, the big fame and notoriety, then you're going to apply yourself. But if you just cool with being hood famous and being famous to your local friends, then hey, it's a place for that too. You know what I mean? It's a place for that.
Yeah, people sleep on that, man. If you got that local following that backs you regardless, you could eat for life.
That's true. But the thing about it is, guys that make real music, that do real rap, they trying to make that. They be like when Nas did that for years. Nas been putting out real music for years, but they made Nas out to be corny because he was actually talking about something. You know what I mean? That's why even with Kendrick and J. Cole, they can get but so far out there in their consciousness before they start trying to blackball them and make them seem corny. Like they still got to come back in and say, okay, I'm gonna do a commercial rap. I'm gonna do a feature on something. Like a lot of people would have never thought Cole would do a commercial feature. Not even Kendrick, but at the same time, you got to keep a balance because of supply and demand.
Do you think there's an agenda in the industry that they're trying to make it like lyricism or being coherent with your bars is like very corny?
Hell yeah, they've been doing it. That's systematic propaganda. Okay, that's like I read the dumbest tweet today. It was on the Tampa Bay's. No, actually, who was it? I was reading a tweet from the Miami Dolphins facility. Well, I guess they corporate Twitter account, and a guy tweeted that he'd rather have Satan as the quarterback before they signed Colin Kaepernick, and that just baffled me. Because I'm like, you act like this guy blew up a building, he walked into a bar in Northern California and shot up a group of people, he went to a movie theater, shot up a group of people, or he had a sex trafficking ring. You mean to tell me you that mad because a man decided to stand up for his people and take a knee and vow and took an act of silence to do a protest? You that man, you that angry to say that you would rather have Satan over him? That tells me everything I need to know about everything with music in general. anything to silence a person that's preaching the right thing or about unifying people and social injustice, they gonna make that out to be corny as hell because it's not the agenda they pushing. They're not out here to try to get people to wake up and know what's really happening. Nah. So they're gonna do everything in the world to make you turn against that and make you think something's wrong with that. That's not the norm. Oh, they weird, they corny, so they can keep their agenda going. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
I've noticed I've noticed that's the narrative that a lot of radio shows and podcasts are trying to, and they're using like Eminem for an example, like for using the lyrical miracle type stuff, and they using like, man, nobody want to hear that. Nobody want to hear bars like that. And I think they try to use him as like the example.
Exactly. Always have, man. Always have. Like let me tell you something, man. Let me be honest with you. And I had this discussion with people all the time. Eminem, he's a great artist. I don't take nothing away from him. You know what I mean? At times I salute what he does, but at the same time, if a line was drawn in the sand, that's still a white man and we still black people. You know what I mean? And if he was to decide he wanted to go back and do stuff for his people, I can't be mad at him. That's the problem. That's what's wrong with black folks. Now, we don't do enough for black folks. And we get mad when white folks do everything for white folks. They supposed to. That's their race. You're supposed to take care of the person that looks like you. That's the thing that we haven't. That's the thing we have yet to understand. So rather than saying a man corny for talking consciousness, just trying to bring a nation of people out of poverty and save us from our oppressor, let's sit down and give him a chance. You know what I'm saying? He may be talking something real. You know what I mean? But we done bitten to that forbidden fruit so deep that we so blinded that they could tell us anything. And 9 times out of 10, the easiest way to lure away a black man from the cause of standing on the principle that he should be standing on is luring away with money. Because 9 times, most of it, we don't come from money. That's the thing about black folks. Well, I take that back. We came from money that was stole from us, but now we don't come from money. So anything you offer us, any little bread or breadcrumb you offer us, we quick to jump up on it because we ain't never been nowhere. We ain't seen shit. We ain't used to that. You know what I mean? And when you get the artists that's trying to expose that, they gonna blackball them. They gonna blackball them. Now, I'm gonna use this as an example, and I ain't gonna take too much of your time. Just let me know we going overboard.
You good, man.
We politicking. So I'm gonna use this as an example, right? I'm going to use it as an example. How convenient was them to talk about R.Kelly and run him in the ground and run that ad? But have you heard anything about that priest that was molesting boys in the Catholic Church? Do you even know what he looks like? When the last time you heard something about Harvey Weinstein?
Like church mice.
Yeah, when the last time you heard something about Harvey Weinstein? You don't. White folks use cartwheels to confuse black folks, to take us off of everything. We so wrapped up, R.Kelly been doing this shit. This documentary should have came out 10 years ago. But see, we so blinded, we thinking that they doing us a favor by exposing, but nah, they only covering up their own bullshit. You ain't nobody talking about that priest. We not gonna when the documentary gonna come out about the priest. Here's another thing. How about Paul Walker? God bless the dead. When the documentary gonna come out about him and his alleged charges. But you got Bill Cosby sitting in prison at 77 years old. Come on, man. Don't be no fool. Don't be no fool. But see, the thing about it is they keep us all drugged up and loved up on bullshit that we miss the boat completely. They gonna tell, even with weed, they tell you can't smoke weed. They drug test. They kick players off the team for testing positive for weed and whatnot. Kick kids out of school, but y'all selling wraps inside of stores. You got a company that's manufacturing wraps. What else you using that for? You damn sure ain't going buying a wrap no tobacco in it. Come on, man.
That's some facts right there, man. Because you could also
but see when the nigga woke,
go ahead.
He's a threat. But see when the nigga woke, he's a threat. You know what I mean? That's why my circle is small, man. My circle's small. I tell it how it is. A lot of people can't deal with me. So I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm gonna keep it paying. Like even with the government shutdown. I've been telling people this for years. I say, I don't knock nobody that gets assistance from the government. If you're old and you can't do for yourself or you're born with a handicap or any type of ailment, I don't knock that. If you're in college and you use it a little bit, Get what you're going to get from it, and then move on from it. Because at the end of the day, when you become so self-sufficient on that system and that program, you become trapped, and you just put the shackle and the chain back on yourself. Because all it takes is one asshole president to shut that shit down, and what you going to do? When you've been depending on it for the last 20 and 30 years. That's industrialized slavery, my brother. It's slavery. So just imagine if this whole shutdown go long, and these people out here that's been so dependent on Section 8 and food stamps and drugs. Food stamps and government assistance. If they can't get it, what you think they're gonna do next? What they gonna turn to do next? They gonna start running in the houses of the people they think they got it.
Plus, it's a reflection of the purge.
I'm telling you, man, don't play yourself.
Because you notice a lot of these purge movies start coming out.
Exactly. Don't play yourself. I tell people all the time, I have people in my family that got government assistance. I don't knock it. I just tell them, hey, don't become self-sufficient on that. Use it as a stepping stone. It's the same way you hit a scratch-off ticket. Okay, I got a little extra money. I'm going to go put it somewhere. Use it as a stepping stone to get to where you need to go or start yourself out. Don't depend on it. That's what I did in the military. I did 5 years in the military. I got my education. I got my credentials right. I go get a job anywhere in the country. I used it to my advantage. I didn't become so self-dependent on it, self-sufficient. And that's the one thing about black folks. When the Panthers was out, when the Panthers started, they knew we had our own stuff. They whitewashed us with it. They ran the Panthers out of town. They took that away from us. Black Wall Street, they took that away from us. They never want us to be self-sufficient or do nothing on our own. They always want us to be at the mercy of them. So now we so much at the mercy of him now, where as long as he keep this thing, eventually we're going to have to give him the money for this wall. Because they're going to need their food stamps back. You see where I'm going with it?
Yeah, man, because they're using that as like a dangling a carrot. And people eventually going to give in.
They're going to have to, because they become so self-reliant on this bullshit. And like I told Lawrence today, I blame both parties. I blame Democrat and Republican. Not being funny, the Democrat and Republicans they all share the same blood that had us on them slave ships come across the Atlantic Ocean. What's the difference? They say we all black folks in Africa, don't they?
And I want to put some people on some game here today. I read today that Nancy Pelosi had a $10,000 meal going into
Listen,
10 G's.
The same rope that Trump hang you from, the Clinton family would have hung you from it too. They all say we all niggas from Africa, and them the same white folks that brought us over here. That blood that blood runs in all their veins. You just gotta be honest, man. It ain't about you being hateful, you just being truthful to yourself. Don't be no fool. You know what I mean? But when we talk about stuff like that, exactly. But see, when you talk about stuff like that, you put shit like that in your music, you're corny. I just read an article today. I don't know how truthful it is about how Future been fronting about him sipping lean for over 2 years. You a grown man, bro. You mean to tell me you ain't got that much nuts in your pants? You can say, man, I don't do that shit. That ain't me. You doing it because they tell you to say do it, and that's selling. That's stupid, man. You got somebody kid out here following you that don't know no better, gonna kill themselves. I don't respect shit like that, man. I don't.
That's sad to say, man, because it's like these rappers have more responsibility than they think, and these kids follow their every move. Like now, it's like TV is raising the children. The internet's not the TV, because nobody really watches TV like that, but the internet's raising the children now.
Exactly. Nobody can think for themselves no more. We ain't got nobody that self-sufficient and say I can think on my own or I can make a decision. No, nobody can do that. Everybody being led to do something. All these dumbass challenges. Come on, man, you got to follow something, a challenge. Then you kill yourself out. And what you proving? You know what I mean? It ain't putting $1 in your pocket. It ain't putting a meal on your table. You following a challenge. Come on, man, that's crazy, man.
Which core words to this next question? Like, how you feel? Do you think that social media played a huge role in you developing your base and getting your music out there?
What was that? I didn't hear you. Come again.
About social media, has it played a heavy role in getting your music more far out there than before?
No. Nah, that's not the case because I don't do social media brand music. I mean, if you talk about breakfast in Paris, it's far less couples than it is side pieces and people that's being the third wheel. So therefore, when you talk about stuff like that, it's like we got to get back to love. So I don't get that same feedback as if I was making a song and I was calling a woman out of her name, or I was referring to a woman as being a side piece, or I was talking about a song about making it rain on a woman. It's like, it's crazy because the most disrespectful stuff gets highlighted and catapulted to the top versus stuff that's clean and that's organic. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. When I get off the phone with you, I got a record. I want you to. I'm gonna send it to you. Text me your your email. Matter of fact, text me your phone number. I'm gonna send you a record. I did this record like 5 years ago, right? I sent it to the radio station. This is during the time of Mike. This is during the time of Mike Brown and Alton Sterling and all that stuff. And that record didn't get the time of day. It didn't get the time of day. Not hardly. But I understand it though. That ain't what they want to hit. You know what I mean? That's not what they gonna put out. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I just gotta keep chopping at the bit, man, until the trees fall. I mean, I know I got my work cut out for me, but I've been working since I was 16 years old. I ain't never been a stranger to a little work or never been afraid of it. But nah, social media, nah. The older generation.
I think it's also a case where these guys, it's like they want to play the record, but their bosses tell them not to play the record.
Oh, I know that. I know that the program directors pull the strings. I know that. You know what I mean? And like I said, for me, I'm not mad because I feel like I'm not gonna ask nobody to jeopardize or put their livelihood in jeopardy for the sake of me. I'm not gonna do that. Everybody not built like I am. So feed your family. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do for your family. I don't expect nobody to do that. But at the same time, I'm conscious of what's really going on. And like I said, if God ever blesses me with a platform to speak like I'm speaking to you, all the shit we discuss, I'm gonna expose all that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna expose all that. I just feel like a lot of our civil leaders that's doing it now, yeah, they doing it, but they tap dancing and boom. Because most civil leaders that did it the right way and they did it on the forefront, they ended up dead, in jail, or they got blackballed. You know what I mean? If you're doing it the right way. You can't be for the cause and then have a crack in your pocket. You just can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't be either or. So that's how it is with me. Until I know I'm ready to.
I think the main issue with us is that the main issue that we have is that you got the so-called gatekeepers that sit there and put themselves in place position of dictating where the culture move, and they say they for the culture, but yet when you send records like you wanted to send them, all of a sudden you see sweat dripping on their eyebrow, you start seeing hesitation, but I'm like, at the same time, if you was for the culture, you'll just play it because the culture is a reflection of what we go through.
Boy, you better say that. That's why you on independent radio. I can't put you on regular North Carolina radio talking like that. You crazy? You cost me my job.
Nah, man. That's why we off the cuff, baby.
I'm telling you what it is. I ain't gonna let you, man.
Right.
That's why I be tripping out when certain. Listen, I don't want to be in no job where if I say something, I got to come back and I hate that. Don't make no man or no woman apologize for being a grown-up. If they said it, they meant it, they knew what they said, it was conscious of what they said. What you making them apologize for? I'm just glad to know what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that shit. I hate, especially black folks. They get up there and they apologize. Well, I just want to apologize for the people out there. Man, no, fuck that. You said what's on your mind. There's people that done did 10 times worse than that. You don't see these crackers apologizing for hosing us down the streets and hanging us and burning us and making it a public spectacle. You know what I mean? They ain't apologize for how they did Huey Newton. Come on, man, stop apologizing for shit, man. That's a sucker move.
But yet, get on the record and talk all tough.
Exactly. You good at that and on the record, but then you get up and you cop a plea on, man. I just don't know what's going on, and man, screw that, man.
Them dudes can't even pronounce five words on the Senate, but yet they become Frederick Douglass. I want to apologize all to my colored folks.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. It's just
if my harsh language affected anybody, those dudes start using 4 or 5 syllable words.
Exactly, and that's what makes it. And not being funny, that's what makes it so easy for brothers now to go put on dresses. Because a lot of these brothers don't have no backbones. The elders don't have backbones anymore. You know what I mean? They don't have no backbone.
Yeah.
They can't stand on their own principle. They can't stand to hold their own nuts. So now they say, fuck it, since he can't hold his own, I'm going to go put a dress on. It is what it is, man. Like the craziest shit, not being funny. Empire, right? Me and my wife watched the episode last night. And I got up and I left. I went and got in the bed and I'm like, because I've never seen that in any other culture. I ain't never seen, even though I couldn't understand the Hispanic television series, but I've never seen them degrade Hispanic men masculinity, even in the white community. Have you ever seen the show where it's white men, that every other scene the white man is kissing another white man? That shit's ridiculous, man. But it's in the black community.
And they put it in the black community because they feel that it's profitable.
Yeah, but I'm saying, do whatever you do in the privacy of your own home, keep that in your own home. Don't make them no spectacle. Nobody else doing that. It's like we get shit and we want to beat everybody to it. And it's embarrassing. We got a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot of work
man.
to do.
I mean, and it starts with people, just like you said. It's like artists, first of all, standing their ground. Like whenever these punks want to try to muscle you about what you can and cannot say on a record, you don't apologize for it. It came from your heart.
Exactly.
Imagine Easy doing apologize for saying F the police. We would never made this far.
Which is crazy. Ice-T made a record about cop killing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then they made him a police. What's it called? We gonna fix that. You became a cop, police or something about cop case. You go be a police officer. They did that purpose. Nah, we gonna change that narrative about cops. We gonna make you one. Come on, man, that's a fucking move, man. But like I say, I'm telling you, man, Benjamin Franklin and Jackson and all those guys, they got a powerful influence in the urban community. Cause when it comes to a dollar, we'll do anything. I tell people all the time, man, if God don't bless me with, God gonna bless me with what He feel I can handle and I can manifest. If He would take me right now, I'd have had an awesome 36 years of life. I don't need all the silver and gold, glamour and glitter. Hell, I'm fine the way I am. Even if I had to live ghetto fabulous the rest of my life, I'm gonna make sure I have my run, and I'm gonna make sure it's enjoyable, man. But for some people that ain't enough. You know what I mean? But like I say, I blame, like you just said it before, I blame the people that came before us that make it put so much emphasis on it to make it feel like that's what you gotta have. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
and then when they bread starts slowing up, then they want to get conscious again.
Exactly. They make it seem like you gotta have 1,000 tattoos on your body to be a rap artist, or you gotta have fronts in your mouth to be a rapper. All the dumb shit they make it seem like it's a rapper costume nowadays. So you ain't a rapper unless you got tattoos all in your face, you got grills in your mouth. You ain't a rapper unless you doing that. You know what I mean? It's like it's comical.
Color
man.
dreads.
It's no originality. Yeah, exactly. That too. It's comical now, man. It's no more originality. Nobody wants to be original and be different no more. Everybody want to follow a suit or follow a damn challenge. It's just sickening, man.
It's a trip.
That's why I make records with R&B artists. R&B artists are the few rappers I deal with, man. But I don't go for any and everything, man. I don't try to jump on any and everything with everybody because, you know what I mean, like the Bible said, once I became a man, I put down my childish ways. Everybody not on that plateau, and I ain't forcing nobody to do that. If you don't want to speak righteous, then hey, that's fine. You do what works for you. I mean, I'm not here to make you convert nobody. I'm just gonna lead by example, and if you think I'm doing it in a flying dope matter, you're gonna follow me. You know what I'm saying?
Plus all that good. It's like this old saying going, all money ain't good money.
Hell no. Say that. You better say that, boy.
I say it again for anybody the listeners right now. All money ain't good money. Yeah, you might get 100 million strains working with Lil Pump, even though you don't like him. But at the end of the day, it ain't gonna move you, nigga.
Exactly. Look, and his great grandparents own niggas. So come on, man. Nah, don't play yourself. Don't play yourself.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
I think that's where hip hop got to go through. It got to have to go through it. I think it's also a case where the culture is scared to go through the maturity age. Because, you know,
it's got a detox.
It's like a whole...
It's got a detox.
Yeah, it's like the young is running the old. It's like the youth is always running the culture.
Exactly. It's got a detox. All right, I'm going to just use this for an example. And this is me and you speaking. All right, if you look at the Lil Pumps and the Post Malones and the Eminem and so forth and so forth, Bubba Sparks, so forth, so on. Like, I don't knock it. I get it. You find something that you have fun, that you like being a part of. You can be yourself. You can let stuff naturalize, and you can be comfortable in what you're doing. But how many artists that you know from our culture, you know, that's in the rock area and that's doing rock, has been accepted in rock, or doing country, with the exception of Hootie and the Blowfish. Name another one that's doing country and that's been accepted, that's getting accolades, getting awards and stuff and so on and so forth. That's getting invited to the Country Music Awards, or that's headlining. How many of them artists you know that are African American? None of them. Not even with rock.
They didn't even want Nelly at the Country Awards, and he had a hit song with Tim McGraw.
Exactly. We couldn't even sit at the table with these people, but now we opening the doors and letting them come in and do any and everything they want to do. And I get it, because we're not a hateful group of people. We got that love in it, but at some point or another, we're going to have to protect what's ours. We can't just let people come in and leech and steal from it. All that money that professional black athletes make for these white owners, and all that money we put back into their pockets, you mean to tell me you got a problem with a man saying he just don't want to stand for a song? Hell, I wasn't standing for that song when I was in high school. Not because I knew I was hip to what the song was about, but I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's people that sit in the bleachers, game in and game out. But one dude do it, y'all blackball. It's not cool, man. It's not cool, and it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, but it's acceptable when you don't do nothing about it.
That's some real game right there, man.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, man, we about to go ahead and wrap this 1 hour up, man, because you gave us some real insight, some real good, solid, straight truth that I feel that the people in the masses need to hear, because a lot of people give that sugar-coated truth on the radio today.
Absolutely, man. And that's why I thank God, not being funny, I thank God for independent platforms like this, because I can really speak my truth. I got partners that work on mainstream radio, but like I say, I'm not going to make them put their family or their livelihood at risk because I'm speaking my truth. You know what I mean? They got a family to feed. They got wives to go home to, and I don't want them to have to explain them losing their job because they brought JB big mouth ass on there. He was just talking some real stuff, so I get it. I mean, everybody got a boss. Even I got a boss. I may feel like this when I'm inside my house, but when I step foot out and I go to my job, I know I got to keep it muzzled because I got to work for somebody, go through somebody to get where I need to go. Feel me?
Exactly. Everybody got to play the game to a point.
Exactly. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. But, hey, I definitely appreciate, man, the opportunity in the hour and just sitting down. It's always good to chop it up with you guys, man. Y'all always been a huge supporter of our movement, my movement, and whatever we doing, man. Like I say, shout out, man. I ain't like you the first person I heard even mention the first best kept secrets, man. So that's dope that you still held on to that,
bro.
man. That means a lot to me.
That album was cold, man. I mean, that
mean a lot.
I just like that good soul music, that good feel good music, that good Sunday morning you cooking breakfast and a nice sunny day music. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I mean, it definitely means a lot. Definitely means a lot, man. But we still working, man, and we definitely charging in the right direction. Be looking out for us to be doing a lot of things and capitalizing, really doing a lot of capitalizing on the Best Kept Secret 2 this year, man. We're doing a lot of shows and trying to get out here and get in different areas and touch different cities and do a lot of campaigning and to build our brand up and move forward, man.
For sure, man. And we want to definitely give a shout out to SmartMouth Records, My man Lawrence, he's listening right now, for putting you on here, for being the...
Absolutely.
He going to be, for what I say, the Russell Simmons of North Carolina right now.
That's the evil.
We about to get that Def Jam push, my G.
Yeah, hey, that boy, he's special, man. He's something special. He definitely putting together an amazing concert on the 9th of February. We're doing something for R&B singers, you know what I mean, kind of capture the essence of Valentine's Day. So he's putting together a huge concert on February 9th. That's going to be in Durham. We're going to have a fly out soon, but it's going to be really amazing. A lot of really dope artists going to be featured on that card, and we're going to put on for the city, man, and do what we do best and try to, show a unified front, man, and keep on pressing on how we press on.
For sure, man. I mean, we definitely appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for having me. Hey, don't forget, man, send me that information so I can send you that record. You can check it out.
For sure, man. As a matter of fact, we gotta play that joint again, and just to give people an indication on what to expect from this project that you just dropped. Let cats know where y'all coming from.
Yeah, man, we definitely. I mean, Best Kept Secret 2 Lovers Edition has been out. It'll be a year on the 9th of February, I believe. It's been a year since the project's been out. It's been doing good. Like I said, it's on all digital platforms. You can find it on Tidal, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play. The list goes on, etc. Follow me on my social media at TheRealJB919. That's both on Instagram and also on Twitter. Also, I'm on Facebook. I just go by myself, Jody Brown. Also, follow me on YouTube at TheRealJB919. I got 5 videos up there, and we got more we're going to be working on this year. As soon as the weather break, we're going to be doing, like I said, a lot more shows, doing a few tours, opening up for a few major acts later on in the year. That's to be announced later on down the line, man. But we definitely working, man, with the grace and power of God. We definitely trying to capitalize on the momentum we gained from last year.
For sure. So what we're going to do now, we're going to play the joint that you dropped titled The Light. One of my favorites, actually. I'm going to play that again. That joint is funky.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. And shout out to everybody that participated in that video and bringing that to life as well.
All right, here we go. This is JB The Light. I'm going to come at y'all with some more joints. Big shout out to SmartMouth Records. Big shout out to Boot Buddy Boy Entertainment, Da Vinci Clothing. I'm getting a lot of brands, a lot of sponsoring here. So y'all got to cut the check in 2019. You heard?
I say that. No, that's right.
That's right. We collecting, baby. So I'm about to go in and play that joint now.
All right, man. I appreciate you.